invited this impostor?" bellowed Edward Harrington III, his voice echoing through the marble halls of his $200 million Palm Beach mansion, as 200 of America's wealthiest elites turned to stare at a young black woman, Zara Washington, standing defiant in the foyer. "Get her out before I call security!" But Zara didn't flinch. Instead, her voice cut through the patriarch's rage like a knife. "Mr. Harrington, you've just made the biggest mistake of your life." With steady hands, she pulled out her phone and dialed. "Dad, it's Zara. Burn it all down. The Harrington deal, the partnerships, everything. They've shown who they are. Let's show them who we are." The room froze, every eye on her as the weight of her words sank in. Who was Zara Washington? And why did her single phone call carry the power to destroy a billion-dollar empire? If you're already hooked on this story of hidden power and devastating revenge, hit that subscribe button now, because what happens next will leave you speechless. Type justice in the comments and tell us where you're watching from. You'll get a response from Epic Tales. Because Zara wasn't just an uninvited guest, she was a force that would turn their world upside down. The crystal chandeliers of the Harrington family's Palm Beach mansion glittered like stars, casting elegant shadows across polished marble floors as America's most powerful families mingled at the annual Harrington Gala, the pinnacle of high society. The air was thick with the scent of old money, fortunes built on railroads, oil and banking, inherited through generations of privilege. But tonight, something was about to shatter this pristine world forever. Zara Washington, a 19-year-old black woman, stood in the opulent foyer, her presence drawing sharp glances and whispered disdain from the crowd. Her quiet confidence clashed with the tailored suits and designer gowns surrounding her, and the subtle sneers spoke volumes about what these people thought of someone who didn't fit their mold. The trouble had started earlier when Nathan Harrington, the 30-year-old heir to the family's $18 billion fortune, cornered Zara near the mansion's library. "Look, sweetheart," he said, swirling a glass of vintage scotch, his tone dripping with condescension. "I don't know what scholarship program got you in here, but this isn't the place for your kind to get comfortable." When Zara calmly asked what he meant by "your kind," his response was brutal. "Don't play dumb. Girls like you come to these events for one reason: clout or connections. But old money families like ours don't mix with people like you. Never have, never will." The tension escalated when Edward Harrington III, the 62-year-old patriarch, lost all control. His face red with fury, he screamed across the foyer, "I don't care who she claims to be. Get this pretender out of my house." The crowd of 200 froze, expecting Zara to crumble under his rage. But her response, calm, cold and calculated, shifted the room's energy. That phone call to her father was the spark that would ignite a firestorm. To grasp the magnitude of that moment, you need to know the players in this drama, because nothing about this night is what it seems. Let's start with Zara Washington. At 19, she's already accomplished more than most do in a lifetime. While her peers were stressing over college applications or social media trends, Zara was graduating from Caltech with a degree in artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. But her story is far more extraordinary than academic brilliance. Zara is the secret daughter of Victor Washington, a tech mogul whose $55 billion empire, Apex Innovations, has revolutionized AI, cybersecurity, and cloud computing. His name ranks alongside Elon Musk and Sundar Pichai on Forbes' lists of global influencers. Yet for nearly 2 decades, Victor kept Zara's existence hidden to protect her from the media, opportunists, and threats that circle billionaire families like vultures. Zara's mother, Dr. Elise Morgan, was a brilliant Yale professor of data science when she met Victor during his startup days. Their brief romance produced Zara, and Victor made a pivotal choice: to shield her from the public eye. Raised in Seattle by her mother, Zara grew up unaware that not every child could hack encrypted systems by age 13 or had a cybersecurity lab in their garage. By 16, she was developing algorithms that caught the attention of tech giants like Google and Meta. Victor watched from the shadows, quietly funding her education and ensuring she had every opportunity to hone her genius, but always from a distance. Now, at 19, Zara runs her own cybersecurity startup, Cyberpulse, valued at $1.5 billion and courted by industry leaders for acquisition. She's everything her father hoped, brilliant, independent, and wielding power she's only beginning to understand. But tonight, she's about to confront the ugliest side of America's elite, and her response will rewrite the rules of power. The Harringtons embody the rot of old money. Their story is a cautionary tale of arrogance and prejudice that will be studied for generations. Edward Harrington III, 62, inherited his $18 billion fortune from ancestors who built their wealth through banking and real estate in the 1800s. He's never created, innovated, or risked anything. His worldview is simple and toxic. Bloodlines determine worth. Old money trumps new, and outsiders like Zara Washington will never belong, no matter their achievements. His wife, Beatrice Harrington, 58, comes from a shipping dynasty tied to the transatlantic trade. She's mastered polite bigotry, discrimination hidden behind smiles and backhanded compliments. Their son, Nathan, 30, is a Princeton-educated disaster who blends his father's arrogance with reckless financial decisions that have pushed Harrington Enterprises to the brink of collapse, a secret they've buried from their allies. Their daughter, Olivia Harrington, 28, is a social media influencer with 7 million followers, turning casual prejudice into content for her audience. Her persona thrives on mocking those she deems inferior, and tonight, her live stream will become the centerpiece of a scandal that will rock high society. Other players in the room will shape the night's outcome. Kiran Desai, Zara's best friend and Cyberpulse's COO, is a mixed-race tech prodigy who's faced similar prejudice. He's about to make a move that will stun the gala. Eleanor Prescott, an 83-year-old matriarch whose family wealth predates the revolution, knew Zara's grandmother, Vivian Morgan, from boarding school. She's about to recognize a spark in Zara that changes everything. Daniel Park, a financial journalist investigating Harrington Enterprises, is at the gala to confirm their financial ruin. He carries damning evidence. Sophia Ramirez, a former Harrington executive, knows their falsified financials. She's been waiting for the right moment to expose them. Victor Washington, Zara's father, has been watching through a discreet security system, expecting a business meeting but witnessing a nightmare. If you're already gripped by this tale of privilege and retribution, hit that subscribe button, because this story is about to explode. Do you think Zara should have revealed her identity sooner to silence the bigotry? Or was she right to let the Harringtons expose their true colors? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because her strategy is key to the masterpiece of revenge about to unfold. Zara arrived at the Harrington Gala with a purpose. Apex Innovations was negotiating a $2.5 billion acquisition of Harrington Enterprises, a deal that would save the family from a hidden bankruptcy looming just months away. But the Harringtons had no idea who she was, and their assumptions about this young black woman would cost them everything. From the moment Zara entered the mansion, Beatrice Harrington marked her as an outsider. "My dear," Beatrice said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes, "I think you're at the wrong event. The diversity mixer is next week." When Zara clarified she was an invited guest with business at the gala, Beatrice's tone turned icy. "Well, we're trying to be more inclusive these days." The word inclusive sounded like a bitter pill. Nathan Harrington was less subtle. Cornering Zara near the library, he assumed she was a tech blogger crashing the event. "Sweetheart," he said, his scotch-soaked breath too close, "whatever startup you're pitching isn't getting airtime here. This is a family affair." When Zara explained her purpose, Nathan's response was vicious. "Let's be real," he sneered, loud enough for nearby guests to hear. "Girls like you come to these events to snag a rich husband, but families like ours have standards. We don't mix with your kind." The room's silence was deafening. Guests exchanged glances, some amused, others uneasy, but none intervened. This was high society's unspoken rule. Prejudice was fine if delivered with polish. But Nathan's words were just the beginning. Edward Harrington III decided to make a spectacle of Zara during his welcome speech. "Ladies and gentlemen," he boomed, his eyes locking onto Zara, "tonight reminds us why heritage matters, why the families who built this nation deserve to lead it." His words grew darker. "Some are born to rule, others to serve. Bloodlines always show." The pointed glance at Zara left no doubt about his target. Scattered applause followed, revealing the crowd's complicity. In the back, Eleanor Prescott watched with growing recognition. Leaning to her companion, she whispered, "That girl has Vivian Morgan's fire. I'd know it anywhere." Eleanor, who had known Zara's grandmother decades ago, sensed a storm brewing. Olivia Harrington saw Zara as content for her 7 million followers. Pulling out her phone, she started live streaming. "Hey everyone, Olivia here at the Harrington Gala," she chirped, her camera on Zara. "You won't believe this. Some random black girl thinks she belongs with America's elite." The comments flooded in, vicious and predictable, egging Olivia on. "The audacity is insane," she laughed, reading a comment aloud. "Did she sneak in with the staff? You guys are brutal." Olivia's live stream became a digital pile-on, with viewers mocking Zara's appearance, her dress, even her posture. Unbeknownst to Olivia, dozens were screen recording, preserving every word for a scandal that would soon go viral. Meanwhile, Beatrice gathered her inner circle, 3 women whose families controlled fortunes in oil, media, and real estate. In the mansion's lavish powder room, they cornered Zara. "We know your game," Beatrice said, her voice cold as ice. "You think you can charm your way into our world?" The others chimed in. "We've seen your type before," said Margaret Voss, whose media empire spanned continents. "You'll never be one of us," added Patricia Lang, an oil heiress. They thought they were intimidating a nobody. They were wrong. Nathan, now drunk, escalated the harassment. Spotting Zara re-entering the ballroom, he made a crude proposition. "Look, I get it," he slurred, stepping too close. "You're hustling. So here's the deal. 1 night with a Harrington, and I'll throw some cash at your little startup. Maybe $100,000. That's big money for someone like you." His words, loud enough for guests to hear, were met with smirks and silence. No one stopped him. The charity auction became the night's low point. Edward announced a special item: etiquette lessons for our diverse guests who need to learn how proper society works. His gaze fixed on Zara, and the crowd's nervous laughter sealed her public humiliation. Phones were out, recording what would soon be evidence in a historic lawsuit. As the crowd laughed, Kiran Desai entered the ballroom. Seeing his best friend humiliated, his expression hardened. He whispered to Zara, "Your dad's been watching through the security feeds. He's seen every insult, every threat. He's ready to pull the plug on the acquisition and more." Kiran's words carried the weight of impending doom. Behind the scenes, information converged. Sophia Ramirez, the former Harrington executive, approached Zara discreetly. "I managed their finances," she whispered, showing Zara documents. "Harrington Enterprises is $3.2 billion in debt, hidden through creative accounting. This deal with Apex was their last hope. Without it, they're bankrupt by summer." Eleanor Prescott pulled Zara aside. "I knew your grandmother Vivian," she said. Your father called me last week to ensure you were treated with respect tonight. I'm appalled by what I've seen." Her words revealed Victor Washington's strategic foresight. He had allies watching. Daniel Park, the journalist, shared his findings. Bank records, falsified reports, rejected loans. "They've been lying to investors for years," he said. "The $3.2 billion is just what I've uncovered. It's likely worse." The Harringtons' empire was a mirage, and Zara held the power to shatter it. Stepping onto the terrace, Zara called her father. "Dad, you've seen it all," she said. Victor's voice was ice. "I've watched them degrade you all night. They don't deserve our help." Zara revealed her trump card. "I've been buying Harrington stock through shell companies. I own 29% of their company." Victor paused, then said, "You've outdone me, Zara. Let's end this." As Edward Harrington gave his closing speech, praising American excellence, Zara strode to the stage, her heels echoing with purpose. Taking the microphone, she said, "Before this night ends, you need to know who you've been mocking." The room fell silent. "I'm Zara Washington, daughter of Victor Washington, CEO of Apex Innovations," she declared. Gasps echoed. "We were here to finalize a $2.5 billion acquisition of Harrington Enterprises, a deal that would have saved them from bankruptcy in 3 months." The word bankruptcy hit like a bomb. Edward paled, Nathan dropped his glass, and Olivia's live stream captured her, whispered, "We're finished." Kieran connected his laptop to the ballroom screen, displaying Harrington Enterprises' financial ruin, $3.2 billion in debt, falsified reports, a house of cards. "They've been lying to you all," Kieran said. "This empire is dead." Eleanor Prescott stood, clapping, slowly. "Vivian Morgan would be proud," she said. "Zara has more integrity than this room combined." Guests shifted, realizing their complicity. Nathan's drunken outburst sealed their fate. "Your father's tech money doesn't make you our equal," he screamed. "Our blood built this country." His racist tirade, live-streamed by Olivia, went viral, trending as Dajesh Harrington bigotry. Victor Washington entered, his presence commanding silence. "You've met my daughter," he said, placing a hand on Zara's shoulder. "She's a Caltech graduate, cybersecurity pioneer, and my pride. I've watched you humiliate her through my security feeds." His voice turned lethal. "The $2.5 billion acquisition is off. The $7 billion in partnerships, gone. Harrington Enterprises will be bankrupt by summer." As they walked out, the crowd parted. Olivia's live stream crashed stock prices by 72%. Partners cancelled contracts. The Harrington's empire crumbled in real time. The fallout was historic. Lawsuits followed, with Zara's 29% stake giving her leverage to dismantle Harrington Enterprises. The secret Harrington bigotry scandal reshaped corporate America's approach to diversity. Cyberpulse soared, proving new money backed by innovation trumps old money's arrogance. If you were gripped by this story, hit subscribe, like, and share. Type justice in the comments and tell us where you're watching from. Do you think Zara and Victor planned this as a test, or were they blindsided by the Harringtons' bigotry? Let us know, because the next chapter will blow your mind.